Hi guys, so today is Tuesday for the Breakfast Club. Sorry this video might be up a little bit late. On Tuesdays and Thursdays it's kind of difficult for me to film because I've got class all day and night. Don't really finish until around 8 o'clock at night, and I go home and I'm tired and I'm not wanting to film and I kind of just want to go to bed. But here I am. So today I wanted to discuss how I got into deaf culture. Well, kind of not really got into, but more, became aware of or became interested in deaf culture. So a little bit of a disclaimer, I know my ASL is not perfect, it's, not even good, but, I'm trying and I'm learning, so bear with me. So I kind of wanted to discuss why this ASL and deaf culture is slowly becoming such a big part of my life. Now, I know that there's a big election coming up, and I thought that maybe you guys are tired of hearing about the election and politics, people's opinions, and of course, feminism. Um, So today we're going to discuss something a little bit different, I guess. Probably about 4 years ago, my mom and I, it was during the summer, and we went to Las Vegas. We went with my grandmother. My grandmother, she sells furniture, and she had a show out there, I think. So we all went to Las Vegas for a very little vacation. We went walking around, sightseeing, swimming, the usual. But a deaf expo was happening. This deaf event was happening at the same time where thousands of deaf people, and their family and friends, teachers, students, all kind of came together for this big event. They had concerts, parties, speakers. It was really interesting. So one day, my mom and I, we were walking down the street, and I saw a concert happening, but there was no sound. All the people, there's just no sound. It was silent. I didn't understand how, deaf people enjoyed music. I was like, what? You can't hear. Why do you like music so much? But I learned that, yeah, a lot of deaf people, they can't hear at all, but they can feel the vibrations of the music, which they really enjoy. And I thought that was interesting. Thought it was really cool. I was like, wow, that's new information. And I met a boy there. His name was Uriel, and he was deaf. I think his name was Uriel. But, back then I knew fuck all when it came to ASL. Well, I could do the ABCs, and I could sign my name. I could sign that I was hearing and that, sorry, I don't understand you. But I felt bad, I wanted that. I wanted that conversation, that communication. I wanted to make a friend. But I couldn't. So, next semester, and this happened during high school. This is during high school. Next semester, I drove down to my local Dallas community college, and I signed up for ASL classes, night classes that I would take during high school. Just for fun, because I'm weird. I think back then I took about 3 semesters of ASL courses, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. I built up some vocabulary. I learned a little bit about deaf culture, about the language. It was a beautiful language, but I felt like, something was not right. Something was missing. Now, I've started university, obviously, and I needed a language class, to complete my degree, as most liberal arts do. I decided that, yeah, I'll take up some ASL classes. I've taken it before. So I started ASL at university, and now I have a deaf professor, whereas in the past I had a hearing professor. And now I understand why I felt like something was missing. I came to my university ASL class, and I met my deaf professor, and I realized I knew nothing when it came to ASL. In the past, I learned, words and some stuff about language structure and the technicalities, but, not real communication, not culture, and I fell in love with ASL. I loved it. I would go to deaf events with deaf people, I volunteer at the deaf school and the deaf run. In the future, maybe I want to, learn more ASL, maybe become an interpreter. And, if not that, maybe I'll be able to use ASL in my future job regardless. I really love English. I really love English. I study English, I'm in love with it. It's my major. But wow, ASL is a beautiful language as well. It's just like English, and I think it's unique, I guess, in that ASL is so expressive, and it's so more expressive than English and Spanish and French, and in ASL you can convey, feeling and inflection in new ways. I love it. I enjoy it a lot. I think that it's a language that everyone should learn. Everyone needs to know. It's a beautiful language, yeah, of course, but besides that, it's so helpful to deaf people who sometimes, often feel stuck in, the mainstream hearing culture during their lives. And I think it's just a helpful tool, and I enjoy it. So that's kind of how I became interested in deaf culture, learning ASL, etc. I don't know. So that's pretty much it. Maybe in the future I'll make some more videos on the subject here or on my other channel. About, deaf culture, ASL, as I get better. But anyway, that's all. Goodbye, guys. I will see you later. And D. Landon Cole, you are up next. Goodbye.